Shane Van Gisbergen is now fourth in the NASCAR Cup Series playoff standings after his third win of the season at Sonoma Raceway this past Sunday. We're going to talk all about it. Let's get right on into it. So, SVG wins, dominates another road course. Yeah, I'm just glad we're done with the road courses for a few. I got to be honest. Um, have nothing against SVG, have nothing against road courses. I really do actually enjoy the road course racing and the strategy and skill that is involved. But um, yeah, I'm kind of tired of seeing SVG dominate these road courses. I got to be honest here. Um, but nonetheless, extremely, extremely impressive from Shane Van Gisbergen. Um, yeah, I think this is also just exposing the playoff format, which is going to lead me to do a video probably tomorrow on the playoff format. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a fairly entertaining race. I thought, was it 60 to 65% good in the Gluck poll good? Maybe, maybe not. I think I could argue that, but um, besides the point, I think I was thoroughly satisfied, but at the end of the day, I'm very much looking forward to getting back to some ovals. Um, let's see how this race played out. So I mean, it's really just SVG dominates the whole thing. I mean, I could go really, really into depth, but yeah, that would be the brunt of it. Ross Chastain gets the stage win in stage one, collecting that stage point. Very, very important if you're Chastain, especially Chastain's one of those guys who's got the win. He's in the playoffs. He's locked in, but he's not one of those guys who's got the 3+ wins who, has got a bunch of playoff points stacked up. So good for Ross to get that stage win there. Not really. Well, he's won. I think he actually has won at Sonoma before, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong on that. Good road course guy in general, but not one of the guys you would, I mean, especially on the run SVG's on, you don't expect a guy like Chastain to win. And I think he recognized, or him and the team recognized that, and that's why they took that stage win there. So good on them. And then even more impressive in stage two was SVG going on to flip the stage and still win the stage. Pits with I think 3 laps to go, which he was coming to the two to go there. And then when he comes out of the pit cycle, I'm forgetting who was there. I actually do not remember. If I'm really trying to think here really hard. I don't know. I'm genuinely forgetting who he passed for that stage win, but um, is what it is. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, he gets a playoff point, which I guess could be pretty big for SVG going forward now that he's got 3 freaking wins. So, I don't know. We'll see. But, anyways, moving on here. Um, what is that? Oh yeah, Briscoe was really the only guy who had anything for SVG throughout the day. I thought, I mean, I don't think he ever really passed him, but I thought he was the one guy who was giving him the most competition on some restarts. I thought there were some restarts where Briscoe had a chance to potentially take the lead, but was what it was. This really did become a wreck fest towards the end of it, and that really defined it. I think the final restart I don't think the final restart was overtime. It might have been. Don't quote me on that. But I know there was several restarts within the final stage and within the last 10 laps. So crazy stuff there. But I guess let's just get on into our top 10 finishers and get on out of here because I also got to record our Dover preview as well. But let's get on into that. So SVG gets the win. Chase Briscoe comes in second. We've kind of discussed both those two. Chase Elliott comes home third. Good result, great result probably actually if you're the 9 team. I thought I don't think there was any shot he was going to catch SVG there at the end, but he was certainly making a really hard charge there on those new tires in the closing laps. So I mean, if there was a chance for somebody to maybe chase down SVG, maybe it would have been Chase Elliott had there been 3 or 4 more laps, but besides the point, it's a good run for Chase Elliott. he's got the win under his belt, so now you're really just looking to, stack the points and, maybe go after the regular season points championship. I'm not exactly sure where he lies on that, but I'm sure he's got to be in the mix on that for sure. So, Michael McDowell, fourth, road course ringer. We know how good he is on these. I mean, there's not really much else to be said other than that. I thought he was, not really as competitive as he was in Chicago, but, not surprised to see him finishing top five at a road course. That is not surprising at all. And then another guy, Christopher Bell. Not surprised either to see him in contention, but probably a good thing to see him in contention nowadays if you're Christopher Bell, because there was a long stretch there where they were struggling quite a bit, and now you're seeing some top five finishes. I'm sure they would like to get a win before the end of the regular season, start building that momentum towards the playoffs. I know they had mentioned at the beginning of the season that they wanted to shoot for 10 wins this year, and when we were 4 races in and he had 3 wins, that was a potentially attainable goal. Now that is probably not an attainable goal unless you go on the run of all runs. But yeah, I think if you're the 20 team, just look to probably maybe get one more win before the regular season and keep yourself locked in heading into the playoffs, because we know that 20 team, when they get in the playoffs, they know how to really lock in and get it done. So Tyler Reddick coming home 6th. Good road course driver. Yeah, there's not much else really to be said there. I didn't really think he was ever in contention. Yeah. Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs had some controversy in this race, actually, with that cut on pit road, pitting in front of Keselowski. Him and Keselowski's pit boxes were right next to each other. Cuts through Keselowski's pit stall, almost hits the front right tire changer for the 6 car, and that caused a scuffle on pit road. No penalties for the 54 team, but I don't know. I did see on Twitter people were posting the camera angle with showing that he was within that box. I don't know if that was, I think he was good to go, but certainly very close call with that crew member, and glad he's all right. But scary situation, and not surprised to see that turn into a fight, because that was a really, really dangerous thing to do. So is what it is. William Byron comes home 8th. I think I know the highest he was running in this race was 2nd, right behind SVG. Nobody was challenged in SVG. Let's just be real here. So, and then rounding out your top 10, you got Joey Logano 9th and Kyle Busch 10th. So, solid top 10s for those two. Logano's already locked in the playoffs. Kyle Busch is very not locked in the playoffs. So, great results for them. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for Sonoma. So, very happy to be heading to a oval next week. Really, really happy, because these road courses, don't get me wrong, love the road course racing, but SVG dominating every week, we need something new. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hope you all stay tuned for my coverage heading into Dover this weekend. Thank you all. God bless.